Welcome to this demonstration of the BRITE Live Provider Portal. Here we see the login screen where the doctor will enter their credentials to access the system. They will enter their email and their password, and then they will click the login button to continue. Once they do so, they will be shown a dashboard containing a list of patients and patients that have been invited to use BRITE Live. At present, this doctor does not have any patients on either list. So let's invite a patient now. To do so, we click the Invite Patients button in the top right-hand corner. Doing so, the system will give us a pop-up where we can enter the email address of the patient we would like to invite. Clicking the Send Invite button will create an email that the patient can use to register. Each patient will click a link in the email to download this application from the App Store or Play Store. Once the application has been downloaded and installed, the patient will have the opportunity to register. During the registration process, the patient will be providing some basic information, including a password that they will be using to log into the application in the future. They will also be asked to accept the BRITE Treatment Consultation Agreement. Once the agreement has been accepted, the patient will be asked to log in using the email and password provided earlier. Once the subscription flow is completed, the next step is for the patient to fill out their medical history using this questionnaire. The questionnaire is quite lengthy, but it is an essential part of this treatment program. Once the questionnaire has been completed and submitted, the patient will be taken to the home page of the application. Because the patient has not yet had their first consultation with their provider, there is no information displayed. Now let's fast forward a couple of months, and the dashboard looks quite different now. This doctor now has a long list of patients, as well as a few patients that have been invited but have not accepted the invitation yet. Let's demonstrate what a workflow might look like for a new patient. We're going to click Sarah Apperson. Since this patient is new and has not completed their first consultation, there's very little information shown in their dashboard. So let's click the Start Consultation button. Doing so, we are presented with 5 different options. The first 4 correspond to different titration patterns that this patient might start on, including a lighter starting Rx, a common starting Rx, an enhanced starting Rx, and a custom starting Rx. The 5th option, e-prescribe only, is reserved for patients who either are not going to be undergoing titration or who have special circumstances. In this case, this patient is going to be starting on the common starting Rx. Once clicked, this option will ask us which delivery method is preferable for this patient for their progesterone hormone. Let's select the eyedropper. Now we are taken to the e-prescription activity, and there are 3 queued prescriptions at the bottom of the screen corresponding to the standard titration hormones. At this time, the doctor can add any additional prescriptions as necessary for this patient. For Sarah, we're going to add levothyroxine. Clicking levothyroxine in the menu on the left, we are now shown several different options for strength, dose, quantity, and refills. We're going to accept the defaults and add this prescription to the queue. Now we can see that we have 4 prescriptions queued up. As this is everything that this patient needs, let's click Confirm to submit these prescriptions for fulfillment to the pharmacy. Once this is complete, the doctor will be taken to a separate notes activity where they can further document anything necessary about this patient's encounter. Once done, they can click the Finish Consultation button to close this consultation with the patient. Once the first consultation is complete, the patient will be shown a list of prescriptions that have been ordered for them. They will also be asked to confirm the receipt of these prescriptions once they have arrived in the mail. Upon confirmation of the receipt of these prescriptions, the patient will be asked to specify convenient times for hormone application in the morning and evening. They will also be asked for this information for weekends. Once the hormone application times have been chosen, the patient will be shown a video on hormone dosage and a video on hormone application. Finally, the patient will be shown their personalized hormone application routine. Whenever a hormone application time arrives, the patient will be asked by the application whether they applied that hormone at that time. This tracking and accountability is essential to getting the benefits of this program. In addition to logging their hormone applications, the patient can also order refills using the application. Whenever a hormone is running low or any other medication, they can use this activity to place a refill order. In addition to ordering refills, the patient can also report any symptoms they may be having. The application will provide a list of symptoms that might arise, and the patient can select any that they are currently having. The application may also ask additional questions to make a determination of what adjustments might be necessary to the hormone regimen. Finally, the application provides the patient the opportunity to communicate with their provider over a messaging system and, if necessary, to report any issues they may be having. Once again, let's fast forward some time to where Sarah has completed her titration and the doctor would like to prescribe some different prescriptions for her. Once again, we're going to open the patient by clicking her name. Now, the dashboard for her contains much more information. We can see her self-assessment information corresponding to a questionnaire that she answers on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. Below this, we have a table containing her current prescriptions. We're going to start another consultation with Sarah now. In this consultation, we're going to be prescribing her a different ratio of BIEST. So we click BIEST, and now we have several options. We're going to go for a 30-70 ratio and add this to the order. Next, we're going to be prescribing her oral micronized progesterone to replace her previous progesterone prescription. Once again, we have the option to fill out the prescription as necessary before adding it to the queue. The doctor decides that these are the only 2 prescriptions that Sarah requires and clicks Confirm to send them to the pharmacy for fulfillment. Once again, the doctor is taken to a notes activity where they can further document anything necessary about the patient. At this point, the doctor is satisfied and chooses to finish the consultation. Now let's look at what a workflow might look like for a male patient. We're going to select Chris Matthews. Once again, because this patient has not had their first consultation, there's very little information shown on the dashboard. So let's start their first consultation now. The workflow for a male patient is simpler than for a female patient. There's only 2 options: the standard testosterone prescription or a custom starting prescription. Let's proceed with the standard prescription. The major variable for this patient is the dosage of their testosterone. We're going to increase the dose. Notice that the system warns us that we've selected a high dose of testosterone and asks for confirmation before proceeding. Since this is the only prescription that we'd like to submit for this patient, we're going to click Confirm to submit it to the pharmacy. Once again, we have an opportunity now to document anything further about this patient before closing the consultation. Thank you for joining me for this demonstration of the BRITE Live Provider Portal.